That is not Marchenko for Chicago. Teddy Mutrin, I beg your pardon, as the face-off. Engle tip in front is denied. The loose puck here is Jastrzebski will slide to Clark. Bucks power play 0 for 2 yesterday as Clark finagles in the right circle, surfs out. Back to the Arlington Heights native, Edison Engle. A lot of Chicago Reapers alum on this Bucks squad. Kevin a lacrosse, one-timer, score! Kiernan on the one-timer. And it's a 2-1 Steel lead just like that. Power play goal for the Bucks.
Stole it for a moment. Compton gets it back, wings one off the glass, and it bounds out to the neutral zone. Now here's Keevan turning back into the Hawk zone, trying to step around Compton. He did. Backhander, he scores. Ben Keevan right up the slot. Capitalizes coming out of the penalty box and gives the Des Moines Bucaneers a 1-0 lead.
And then dump back in behind the cage. Keevan holding on in the corner to the top. Buick right side, he'll filter it down below the goal line with 30 seconds gone by in the second. Back to the point, Engle shot wide of Spunar, who didn't quite see it, then fed in front. Niedermeyer blocked it, and it bounces back to Keevan. Hard angle shot, he scores. And one-on-one against Barnhill. Alstead goes on the left wing in deep. Tries to cycle toward Deladonna. Merrill pins him to the wall. Rather, that was Jastrzebski in back. And it pops to the point. Engle's shot. Kicked down by Bierman. Rebound. Popped in the air. Bouncing in. They score. Jastrzebski able to find that loose puck and swat it past Bierman. Call. And it is Spicer to take it. Can't win it. On the right side, Petal. Far side. Saints end to the left. Mulgrave at the point. His shot blocked by Spicer. That stung him. Hit him in the ankle area, but he's going to stay out there. He forces Schultz to the wall, and then the pass up top is out to center. Spicer will stay on the ice for the rest of this shift. It's tipped back into the Saints end. Malbuff has to get there. There's a Waterloo player in front, and Malbuff able to get there and take it in behind the net for the Saints. Spicer quickly outlets left to right. Van Vliet with speed into the zone. Dancing to the circle. The shot tipped on. Save. Rebound. They score! It's Edison Engle in his Saints debut. He puts Dubuque up 3-1. He just picked up the loose puck on the rebound and fed it past Vachon. His first goal of the season and his first game as a Saint. 7:47 left in the second. And the new guy puts the Saints up by 2. Well, they're going to try to do that again, and they have a new man out there, Edison Engle, at the point on this power play unit.
Yeah, I think he's going to be a big addition to this power play. You know, when they acquired him last week, they were talking about putting him on the power play, eventually getting him onto the power play, and you know, it took less than a week for him to get out there, so a good sign that he's up to speed with what they like to do on the power play.
80.6 overall for Youngstown, 83.6 on the road. That's the 4th best road PK in the league, but they've allowed a power play goal in 5 straight games. Saints in the offensive end of the right. They can't win the draw, but they chase it in behind the net, and they work it free to the near corner wall. Coombs, Cornforth, Van Vliet, Giuliani, and Engle out there. Osborne grabs behind his own net, though, and will shuffle to center ice. 15 seconds into the power play. Spunar has to come out of the net to play the puck away from Veronin, who was streaking in, and the Saints will grab behind their own net. Engle starts the rush up ice. 8.5 to go in the first. 1:35 to go on the first power play of the night. Saints lead 1-0. Cornforth, left wing feed into the zone on the far wing. It's Coombs. He'll drop it back to the point. Engle walks the line, right wing feed, top of the circle, the rip, Van Vliet, he scores! 4 down for Lucas Van Vliet, a power play goal. And after he just lit up the World Junior A Challenge, he has his first goal since he came back. His second power play goal of the year. Saints in their own end, they win the draw, and Engle and this unit back out there. 50 to go on the power play, right to left, they move forward to the red line. Engle drops it back, Hornforth with speed up the left side. Coombs hammers it around the wall in deep. Van Vliet leaves it to the top. Giuliani back down the boards. It was blocked, tied up, moved forward. The Saints keep it in, but then Engle's pass goes out to center ice, and the Saints have to start back ahead. 30 left on the power play. 8 minutes in this second period. The Saints Past the halfway mark in regulation, still looking for their first goal. It's Engle across ice, high slot. Giuliani rips, he scores! A power play goal for Josh Giuliani, and the Saints strike. It's a 2-1 game. 7:55 left in the second. Giuliani has goals in back-to-back games, his 11th of the season, and he pops the water bottle. 3:15 into the third. Saints tied at 1. Gavin Cornforth, a last-ditch effort, keeps it off the goal line. Back to the top. Saints offensive zone. They fire wide of the net. Cooper Nettis, wraparound try, save, rebound. They score! Michael Barron, number 13, puts it home. Offensive end for Dubuque on the power play. They can't win the draw. Keefe skates it behind his net. Checked by Giuliani. The Saints try to find the puck on the power play. They outnumber the Musketeers. It's still tied up, and it's up the wall. Van Vliet to the top for Engle. The Saints have it on the power play for 90 seconds. Van Vliet, right circle, all the way to the top. Engle thought about the shot, then Cornforth one-timer wide of the net. Van Vliet picks it up on the near half wall, slides to the top for Engle. He skates in from there and leaves back to the circle. Van Vliet down low. Spicer feeds back up high. Engle rips. It's sticked away by Baronis. Saints have it back in the corner. To the top. Engle walks the line. Right wing at the circle. Van Vliet curls and drags. He scores! Over the glove. It's 3-2 Saints. 10:53 left in the third. A power play goal on an absolute laser by Lucas Van Vliet. His 11th of the season, a 5-game point streak, and his third power play goal of the year puts the Saints back on top. The Saints line. Engle tips it wide from him. In behind the net, Cornforth trying to dig free in behind the Saints cage to the left. It pops to the far boards. Swept in from the point at Hanrahan all the way to the top. Banach, the shot tipped in the slot. It goes wide from Messick. The Saints clear. It goes past Cornforth. Won't have enough for icing, but it will end up in the Youngstown end. 1:10 in. No score. Saints trying to pressure on the forecheck. Banach will flip to center. It's pumped ahead by Engle at the Saints line and picked up into the zone. Ruohonen, offensive end to the right. It's Van Vliet, the rip. He scores! Van Vliet from the far circle, and the Saints strike first. Ball's taking back into its own end. 7.5 to play in the first. Saints out shooting the Stampede 10-3 so far. Puck back into the Saints end. Picked up by Dubuque and outletted through center. Lock across ice. Engle rips into the zone. Dancing to the front. He goes to his backhand. He scores! It's another Saints beauty. 2-1 Dubuque. Edison Engle, coast to coast. 7:13 left in the first. And Engle's second as a Saint has the Saints on top. Almost identical. 90 seconds into the second. Ruohonen finds and plays back to the top. Niedermeyer settles out of his skates and turns it down the wall in behind the net. Chicago there first with Crosscreek. He bumps it ahead. Engle picks that off. Centering feed blocked. And Callback stripped by the Saints in the slot. Turning and firing Jenner Show. Sticked away again by Parsons. Up to the top. Engle across the blue line, right wing. Niedermeyer skates down the wall and then turns back to the top for Engle. Walking the line. Filtering back to the right and chipped down low on the circles. Ruohonen back up high. Center point. Niedermeyer with space. Fires. He scores! He rings it off the post and in. 1:59 into the second. And the Saints take the 2-1 lead. For a fourth time. Spicer taking the face-off. He wins. Engle walks the line. He'll fire. Tip. They score! Josh Giuliani in front. And it took just 4 seconds for a power play goal. The Saints lead 4-3. Giuliani on the deflection. And Josh has his 19th goal of the season. Ahead up the far side for Waterloo. Saints converge on the wall, try to win a battle, and Frank able to tip it free. Cornforth checked. He's able to move it back to the top. Saints do win the battle. Engle walks the line. Right point for Barnhill. Fires, hit a skate in front, loose in the slot. Rip, they score! Cornforth fired at home as he was getting tripped, and the Saints get back within one. To take the draw. Near dot outside the Dubuque line to the left. Cornforth wins the draw. Engle backtracks, and he'll look to start ahead. 30 seconds into overtime for the Fighting Saints. Left to right. Cornforth on the drop feed. Into the offensive zone with speed to the right. Far circle. Dancing toward the front of the net. He's checked. He scores! Gavin Cornforth takes it all the way home himself. The Saints win at 5-4 in overtime. just over 7 to go in this first period. Saints in the offensive end to the right. Can't win the draw, they'll take it back into their own end. Kostadinsky back for the puck. He'll bank it forward. Saints will knife ahead to center. Left wing, Engle flying through into the offensive zone. He has Cornforth on the left wing boards, and he goes down low. Back to Cornforth on the circle. Fires. He scores. He popped the water bottle. Gavin Cornforth, the goal and an assist early on, and the Saints lead 3-0. He absolutely shattered the water bottle. It dumped water all over the blue paint, and the Saints lead 3-0. Cornforth now 26 goals and 52 points. Both of those leading the squad, and the Saints have had the response. But the Saints can't hang on. It's a 3-on-2 for the Rough Riders, short-handed. Nelson across the Dubuque line, flips it back toward the front. It rolls wide. Engle then off the end wall, and the Saints able to pick up. Just 30 remaining on the power play for the Saints. They'll get the full second unit out there with 5:16 left in the third period. 2-2 game. Saints need a win tonight to get a bye in the first round. Ruohonen charging in on the left wing, cutting to his backhand. He scores! He sneaks it in! Saints with a 1-goal lead and out shooting the Caps 14-7 so far tonight. Engle whirling through to the neutral zone. He'll drop it back, and Van Vliet will speed across the red line into the offensive end. Left wing, he'll slide high slot. Cornforth drags, and he rips it off the crossbar. Back to the top. Saints have it. Engle, he'll go to the left circle and hold up there. Back across ice quickly for Spicer. He'll lay it back up high. 25 on the power play. Early in the second, Saints up 1. Spicer to the left point. Van Vliet near circle. Drops back to Engle. Right side. Cornforth back up high. 15 on the power play. Van Vliet from the circle. Rips. He scores! The Saints have opened the floodgates in the second. They have 2 power play goals lead.
Yeah, once Lucas Van Vliet gets a little bit of confidence going, he's awfully difficult to stop.
On the power play, right wing, Giuliani at the red line. Drop pass, Van Vliet will enter the zone with speed. He'll flip to the near wall. It was kicked down by Giuliani. Saints hold on at the top with Cornforth. Left wing, it's Engle walking down the boards, bottom of the circle, banks it back up high. Cornforth across ice for Van Vliet on the right circle, lays it all the way back high. Cornforth, high slot to the left for Engle. He'll switch places and go back to the circle for Cornforth halfway through the power play. Cornforth turned down low, then he'll feed it back up high. Engle quickly to the right. Van Vliet drags, thought about the shot to the bumper. The rip, they score! It's Josh Giuliani, and a power play goal for the Saints puts Dubuque up 1-0. Just over 11 remaining in the first, and the Saints strike first in game 2. Giuliani has 2 goals in the series. That's his 3rd of the playoffs. Saints offensive zone. Dennis whips a shot wide of the net. In the near wall, Engle will pick up. Takes it back up high. Edison Engle to the right wing for Van Vliet. He'll step to the circle. He'll zip the shot. He scores. And it's a 6-2 game with 2:17 gone by in the third. And it gets cleared by the Lumberjacks. 2:15 remaining on the power play chance for the Saints. 30 seconds into the second period. 1-0 Muskegon. Engle, left wing feed all the way across ice. Ruohonen picks up, holds up in center, and on the right wing, Barron moves into the zone. Rims it around the boards. On the left, Cornforth takes it to the corner, tries to work to the top, has Van Vliet there on the left point. Back to Cornforth on the half wall. 1:50 on the power play. Almost a minute gone in the second. Saints offensive end to the right. Ruohonen lays it back up high. Cornforth holds on there to the hash marks. Trying to go down low. It was tipped. Ruohonen chases in back. He has it, and he'll swing it up the wall for Van Vliet. At the top, Engle bobbles across ice. Cornforth on the left circle. Back to the right. It's Van Vliet. Drags, fires. He scores! The Saints with a power play goal. They tie the game at 1 early in the second. And Lucas Van Vliet, the Saints' leading scorer in the postseason, strikes again to tie this game up. Just 1:11 into the second period. Van Vliet's 2nd goal of the series, and it is his 4th of the postseason for the Saints, and the Saints have tied the game at 1. A huge power play goal for the Saints, just